only Brad. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing good. It is Tuesday. That means it is artist table time, and I have with me Willie today. How you doing, Willie?
Doing well?
Good, man. Good. So you and I talked not too long ago, and I think it was last week after last week's show, and we're going to start doing lessons every Tuesday, art lessons. And I think you said you would take over the first lesson today, so that's what we're going to be doing. And you're going to be teaching the basics today of drawing. And,
the bare bones.
The bare bones.
Yeah, we'll break it right down.
What we're going to be doing with these bare bones is we want you to participate, draw along, and then tweet at us #TeachingTuesday, which I'll drop in the chat. And what you can do is work on it throughout the week. And then on Friday, we're going to pull these up and we are going to critique them if you don't mind. You don't have to post them if you want not to be critiqued. Just let me know. But we'll pull a few of them, critique them, go over what we think some suggestions and stuff like that for you to work on. But it's going to be related to the lesson that we're doing each week. So Willie's doing this week's lesson. I'm going to do the next week's lesson, and so on and so forth. And as we guested, we'll have them do lessons as well on Tuesdays. And then on Fridays, we'll go over those lessons and critique them for you. So why don't we get started here? I'm going to pull up Willie's screen, and I'm going to be monitoring chat, answering any questions you guys got or asking Will here. And let's get started. So,
all right,
Will, you take over, buddy.
Yeah. So everybody can see my Photoshop, right?
Yes, you are screened. Yep.
Okay. Let me minimize this window here. All right. So here we are using Photoshop. And as soon as you open Photoshop, this will be the screen that you see. Normally there's a canvas here and some work tools over here on this side. But in order to get that, we'll have to set up our document. So what you want to do is you want to go to File, New, and then you're going to come up with this little window here. Here, it says the width and the height. You can change that from inches to pixels. I like to use inches. And the typical comic book artboard, I believe, is 11 by 17.
We don't see your little information like that.
You don't see it?
No. I would probably just bring up the page anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm using 11 by 17.
Yep.
Then it's going to be, the resolution is going to be 900. So this is going to be crystal clear when you hit the inks.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It seems like a lot, but it's worth it in the end.
Cool.
Then you can reduce it down to about 300 when you're coloring it. Right? You want to save it as a different document. And then the background's going to be white. So for now, we're just going to leave it untitled. I'll hit OK, and here is our canvas.
You'll probably need to zoom in real close when you give them the lessons, just to
sure.
FYI.
Yeah. So over here on the side, we've got our layers, we've got our swatches, we've got our brushes, and then we've got our character, which is for our typography or our text, our fonts.
Again, we're not seeing that on your screen.
You don't see any of that?
No, we just see your basic page. So
you just see the what? What do you see? The canvas? Hang on, let me bring it up.
Yeah, just the canvas.
You don't see any of my tools. That's so weird.
No, we don't see the tools. Yeah, well, that's fine.
Okay. Well, if you guys are seeing it widescreen, let me flip my canvas over and we'll do a widescreen canvas.
All right.
That way I won't have to zoom in so hard. Let me see. Let's close this one and we'll start a new one.
Okay.
That's funny that you guys don't see my tools. Why?
Yeah, I don't know, buddy.
That's weird. Okay.
Yeah,
so new, and we'll go.
Okay. So yeah, while he's getting set up with whoever's watching right now, just remember, if you're going to follow along today with the lessons, tweet at me, Teaching Tuesday, #Teaching Tuesday, and we'll pull them up on Friday and critique them for you live on stream. So don't worry, we won't be harsh. We're not going to, kill anybody over anything, but it's not worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to pick a hard brush, set it to black. Okay, and I'm going to try a practice stroke to see what we get. Can everybody see this?
Zoom in, would you? A little bit more.
Sure,
yeah. Let's make it nice and big where it fills up the whole page.
Okay.
Then I will full size you. There you go.
Let's try this.
Yeah, that looks good.
Is that better?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Let's erase these. Oh, let's erase that too. All right. So the first thing we'll do is start with our basic shapes, right? So here we've got a square. Our triangle. Our circle. And then I find us animators and illustrators, we like to add a couple more. So the one that I'm going to add is going to be the teardrop shape.
Okay.
And then the peanut.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So starting off with the basics, these are just basically flat little objects, right? To make it look a little more three-dimensional without going too detailed into like perspective and your vanishing points and all that jazz.
Yeah, we'll hit that up later.
Yeah, we'll work our way up. So to make the square a three-dimensional shape, which is a cube, what I like to do is draw a square, find the halfway mark on the top and one of the sides, and then draw in another square. And then you just kind of connect some of the corners. Okay.
Nice.
The triangle's a little tricky. Okay. The triangle, the three-dimensional triangle, and I'm going to use a dotted line because it's going to be in behind. Okay. Three-dimensional triangle is either a prism, which has the three sides, or it's going to be the pyramid. Pyramid kind of has four sides. So when you're looking straight down, like say you're in a helicopter and you're over Egypt and you're looking straight down.
Yeah, your four sides.
This is what you're going. This is what you're going to see.
Yep. Give me a square with X at the top.
Right. This is going to be the top of your pyramid.
Yeah.
Right. Now the circle's a little different. The circle's tricky. Okay. So we've got the square, which is a cube. Right. This Q-U-A-R-E. And then we got the cube. Then we have our triangle. Not the best pen to be writing with.
It's okay.
This one's your prism. And this one.
So circle. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. That one is your pyramid. Pyramid. Not sure how you spell pyramid, but that's the best we're going to do.
It's all good.
All right. So the circle's a little different. There's two ways to make your circle three-dimensional. Okay.
A three-dimensional circle is called a sphere.
Yes, it is. Yeah. The best way to do it is draw your crosshairs on it. And then the ones that kind of go in behind, we like to put in that dotted line. And then there's another way of doing it with shading. So here I can just take an airbrush and blow it up a little bit. I'll reduce the flow a little bit. And you can kind of shade it like this, right?
Mhm.
And that's without getting too far into talking about midtones and all that jazz.
Yeah,
Right?
we'll cover that in the shading thing later.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So this one's called a sphere. Let me shrink my brush down a little bit. H-E-R-E. Okay. So that's the derivative of the circle. So let's start by maybe showing where we can add a few of these.
Mhm.
Okay. So over here, what we'll do is we'll just draw a circle.
Mhm.
We can give it some crosshairs.
There you go.
This one here will be the eye line, which means your eyeballs will sit on that line. Okay. Then maybe.
You're gonna add a square at the bottom for his jaw, right?
Well, depending, right?
Mhm.
Baby steps. Maybe we'll do some cartooning. So just like, coming back up here, we also can use the teardrop and the peanut shape.
Mhm.
So maybe we can add the teardrop. I'm just going to draw through my drawing, and then I can erase everything else, right? So here I can add that teardrop shape. And now we've got a bit of a body. At the bottom, I can draw in that little triangle shape. I'm running out of room here. Now we got some legs, right?
Mhm.
And then we can kind of come up here, put in some arms, stuff like this, right?
Mhm.
How's that arm going to go?
Yeah, because when you're starting out as an artist, right?
Yeah.
Everything is made up of basic shapes.
Everything. Like even like that peanut shape, I can kind of come in and add it up here. And now suddenly we've got some cheeks. And I can take my eraser tool. Let me blow it up a little bit. And I can kind of erase like stuff that I don't want. I don't want that. Don't want that.
You can also just draw it lighter too. That helps. But yeah, all these shapes are layers upon layers of a drawing. And then when you clean it up, you get the final form on the outside.
Yeah.
So
it's all in the cleanup stage.
Yeah. But basic shapes are everywhere, in your life. Your phone is a rectangle, right? It's also a rectangle on all sides where it has a little bit of thickness, a little bit of length. My fat head is round at the top, with kind of a rounded another circle at the bottom for the bottom of the jaw, and then you just draw the outline. So you put those all together, and then you can get the shape of what you're looking for, which is why we always draw basic shapes, when we're drawing stuff. It could be a person, it could be a house, it could be a car. Always surrounded by basic shapes.
Yeah.
Nice little cartoon there.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
So let's go to a new canvas.
Sure. Yeah, like guys, if you're watching this right now, please give it a share. If you're going to be new to this, we're going to be doing hashtag Teaching Tuesdays or Teaching Tuesday. I'll look it up on Twitter, and then on Friday we'll go over it. And so we want to see your basic shapes. We want to see you layer them and how you put them together to make a drawing. So and then we'll help you out from there. Every week we'll get a little more advanced. So this is like super basic stuff right now, but
super basic. You're not going to get any more basic than this.
Yeah.
And then from there, we'll build up, and I think we'll get into anatomy. We'll get into head construction. We'll do hands, feet. We'll tackle something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in order to get there, you need to know these basic shapes and how they apply.
How they interact with one another,
That's right.
what you do with them. And this is also good for computer animation, as well. So if you're trying to use ZBrush or or something like that, and you want to start off and sculpt a head or anything, you start out. They have head forms in there, but you can also start out with just a sphere. Like when I took my computer animation course in college, they didn't have ZBrush at the time. It was just 3D Studio, and we had to model everything in 3D Studio. So we had to build our models with basic shapes and then carve it down from there. So, but yeah, let's keep going, Willie.
Okay. So for the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to practice our circles, our spheres. And I think what we'll do is some head turns. So everybody can draw a little happy face, right? Everybody knows the happy face,
Sure.
right? So let's make them a little more three-dimensional. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw another circle. We're going to put in some crosshairs. These are our direction lines.
Mm-hmm. Like you can actually make your drawing like put it at about 60%, so we can, when you draw over top, we can see that a little bit better. With it being so black, it's a little bit hard. So if you drop the pin to like 60%.
Well, I'm going to do a whole series of them.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
But I will when I
Sure.
when I go to change.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Right ahead.
there's our little happy face. Then we've got our circle with the crosshairs. These are going to act as our direction lines. Okay. So the one that goes straight across, this is going to be your eye line. This is where your little eyeballs are going to fall. All right.
My eyeballs fall on a line?
Yep. They fall on a line. And
once usually about, even the human head, it's about halfway through the head.
Yeah, actually a human head. And then there's special ways that you can measure it. For instance, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but for instance, like when you're putting in your eye line and you put in your eyeball, normally what you do is you've got the space of an eyeball, then a space of an eyeball right here, and then you've got a space of an eyeball.
And there's also,
right?
I think, one
so really you could fit 3 eyeballs in there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work for everybody, but all you have to do is look across the room at your partner and you can kind of space, their eyeballs correctly. Yeah. But usually, as a rule, that's kind of how you measure it.
Yeah. Welcome, Bob, to the show. Thanks for coming.
Okay, so let me erase this one.
But yeah, so we're gonna make this 3D. So
yeah,
let's do.
Okay. Goodbye, eyeballs. All right. The next one, basically, we're just going to draw another circle. This is going to be, we're going to start making it a little more three-dimensional. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have that vertical line nice and straight, and then I'm going to bend the eye line. And I'm going to bend it upwards. And again, the eyeballs are going to be placed right on the eye line. And now you can see, I'll put a little smiley face in there. Now you can see that he's looking up.
Yep.
Then I'm going to do another one. And again, the vertical one's going to be straight up and down. And then I'm going to bend the eye line going down. The eyes fall on the eye line, and then you're not going to see much of a smile. Now he's looking down.
That's super simple.
Super simple. All right. So now I'm going to draw another circle. And this time, the eye line's going to be straight across, but I'm going to bend the vertical line. And now he's going to be looking off to the side. So the eyeball that's further away from us is going to be slightly smaller because it's a little further away.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be drastic, just slightly. Now he's looking off to the side. Then I'm going to draw another one. The eye line is going straight across. And I'm going to bend the direction line the opposite way. Again, the eye that's furthest away from us is going to be slightly smaller. And now he's looking at himself. Okay.
Okay.
So he's starting to look a little three-dimensional.
Yeah.
We haven't really done too much. I mean, all we did was curve one line, right?
Yep. That's all we did. Curve one line.
Yep. All right. Let's push him a little further. We'll see how far we can push him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another happy face.
Cool.
Now I'm going to bend the direction line, and I'm going to bend the eye line.
Cool.
And I'm going to do it the other way.
Now this is how I set up my faces when I'm doing my comic book pages and stuff.
Yep.
This is the exact same thing, that I do every time I'm setting up the face.
Yep.
So
now this is kind of like the camera is below his chin and we're kind of like looking up at him.
Yep.
Right.
So think about it as like we're lower left. If he's looking center, we went down to the lower left,
Yeah.
But
and then we can push it again. We can push the eye line downwards.
Cool.
There.
Oh.
So those are your basic head turns.
Yep. It's also how you spherize a head or cartoon or anything like that. So it's good to know how the sphere operates.
Yeah.
What lines are on what. And then eventually when we get to shading, that'll tell you how you want to shade the piece too, depending on where the light source is hitting it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, let me select these ones here. Not sure what's going on with my tablet all of a sudden. That's kind of weird.
Performance issues?
Yeah, something like that. All right. So here at the top, we have just a basic flat smiley face. Oh, I'm on the wrong tool.
Mm-hmm.
Basic flat smiley face up here. And you can see that there's a progression that's not so flat anymore with the ones on the bottom.
It's true.
Right? You can't deny that they're three-dimensional. So, Brad, when you're doing your comic book faces, you're probably drawing a circle. And then where do you go from here? Do you draw the direction line? Or do you put in the jaw first?
I actually draw a kind of a almost a oval. I'll do more of an oval with a skinnier end and a fatter end. And then I put a line right down the middle where I want the middle half to face the face to go. And then the line curving over that sphere shape towards where his eyes are going to be looking.
Okay. So would you do it kind of like this, you mean?
Yep.
And then you've got a pointy end on the bottom?
Almost pointy, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like that?
Yep. Like an egg.
And that's how you start off your characters.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
With my rough layouts, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's how I do it every time.
Okay. Because I know some people, they like to draw in the circle Let me erase this guy. They like
Yeah.
to draw in the circle, which is basically the base of like the skull.
Correct.
And then what they like to do is kind of put in that jawline.
Yeah, there are people who like to do it that way. I just find drawing an egg is a little bit more simple for me.
See, I don't like doing this because I confuse that bottom of the circle with my eye line.
Correct. Yeah, or nose line or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it is about the nose line, but you know, yeah. So to confuse myself less is when I do it the oval.
Right.
You know, and remember, eyes are going to be halfway down. You know, and then halfway down that between the eyes and the bottom of the chin is the nose.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about that. Okay, so here's how you measure it, right? You've got your direction line going right down the middle. Then halfway between these 2 points is your eye line.
Yep.
Then halfway between your eye line and your chin is your nose.
Yep.
This is where you would put your nose.
Correct.
Then halfway between the nose and the chin is your mouth. Right?
Yeah, the lips. Or where the lips meet, the part.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you're doing your eyes, do you do it above the eye line or do you do it right on the eye line?
So it kind of depends.
Like
so,
what I mean by right on the eye line is like this.
Yes.
Right.
No, I actually either set mine above or below, depending on what I'm drawing.
Yeah.
And then it also depends on the direction they're looking. So if they're looking up, I always set the the eyes on the bottom or above the line, so the bottom is touching the line. The reason why is because the face is going to curve, the cheekbones are going to curve as a cylinder, right? And so that bottom line of the eye is going to curve as well, or it's going to flatten out, equal to the curve of the ratio of that line going around the cylinder. You know, do you want me to draw it and show you?
Sure. Well, just wait. Let me finish my little guy.
Sure.
So the next step, I mean, we've got most of the facial features on here. The next step is the ear placement. And I don't think a lot of people even know the ear placement. I think a lot of people would know how to construct the face in this method, but the ears actually fall on the eye line to the nose line. This is basically where your ears are going to fall. I just wanted to get that in there before we started to move on.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Right.
I totally understand that, yeah. I'm just setting up my Photoshop real quick.
Yeah.
It up. And then I'll share my screen. Yeah, so.
Okay, let me exit out of my screen here.
Oh, no, you're good, dude. You're good. I'll just switch them in. I'll just switch them in the thing.
Yeah, but I want to watch you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. All right, let me share my screen. All right, so this is my Photoshop setup. This is just for sketching right now. That's it. I'll make it real big, add a layer, grab my pen, brush tool. So, how I set up my faces and stuff, I will go almost like, that, and then depending on which way they're looking, and then I put the eyes at the top. And when I go into ink, I follow this line down here and then up and over, type thing. But then nose, lips, chin, ear, and I come down. Yeah, because it's going to be foreshortened as you look up at a face, but the chin. So, but very, very rough. Let's back it up a little bit. Let's try to clean this up a little bit. So,
use basic shapes.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now.
If you could add like the prism to the nose and stuff like that, I think that kind of applies to what we're talking about. So
we're going to start with the circle.
Yeah.
Okay. And then usually we'll go down, down, right around here, down again, straight down. Oops. And then halfway here and here is right about here. Halfway here and here. The lips will almost always line up where the jaw line starts to curve in.
Another thing about the lips is the corners of the lips usually line up with the pupils.
With the pupils of the eye, yeah. So, but let me move this over just a little bit. And then let's drop this layer. Opacity. And let me grab a blue here. So now we'll start with shapes. So you roughly know the eyes are going to go right around here, right? And we know there is at least one eyeball in between. So let me do the eyes. So boom, 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 roughly. And in the middle is the triangle. Now, depending on how you have this set up, right? Because the nose has an upper part and a lower part, which we'll get to the anatomy of later. You know, we can do that. But it's basically a triangle, right? And then the lips down here. That's the lip. This boy has thick lips. Thick lips. We'll go with thick lips. This boy is meant to be a kisser. And then with the pupil of the eyes, right, is where you want the corners of the mouth to end up. It's basically the rough alignment of a face. Okay? And then with the ears, right here. So that's how you would do the ears. You know, on the face. I know it looks a little off because I'm kind of rushing. I wasn't planning on drawing. Sorry. You know, I'm not the most accurate at the moment. But you get the idea of where everything starts to line up, right? So, I'm going to go and complete the head up here.
I can see all your tools.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, so that's the basic shapes that you do to get it there. So you can also do, zoom out real quick. Over here. If you do the side version of the head, so you do a circle, right? Come down, straight down. And about halfway here, you usually want to put a quarter circle up, right? Because this is going to represent the jaw. This is going to represent the chin. Come down here, down. Ear should be right around here. And then the same still applies. So nose, halfway down, lips. And the jaw. If you come back, the jaw will go up right around there. You can use a peanut right here if you want. Eyes, right on the eye line. Now remember, eyes from the side, you're only going to see a portion of it.
Yeah, like a triangle.
Yeah. But you gotta have fun with faces though, because everybody has different faces.
Male,
Here you
female, it's all
modify.
different. Yeah.
Yeah. And then from here you gotta modify it out, add muscle, all that stuff. You know. So
There was one exercise we used to do in life drawing. Was we'd have a model come in, and he'd be, say, a male,
mm-hmm.
and he'd come in, and we'd have some props with, like he could lean on a staff or something.
Yeah.
And then our drawing instructor would come in and say, okay, forget that he's a male and now he's an African warrior woman.
Okay.
So we had to make up on the spot what he would look like as a woman. Right. So,
Nice.
there's, everybody's got different facial features and stuff. So
Totally.
when it came to stuff like that, that's, you kind of rely on your memory, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
When you start drawing enough over and over and over again, you get a muscle memory,
Yep.
For what things tend to look like, it won't be exact by any means, but it'll give you a essence of the character,
Yeah.
So let's look at the sphere again, though, here. Then let's draw a face that's looking up this way, right? So we're going to come down this way. Remember, we got the jaw. We'll leave the jaw straight, straight-ish. But the jaw and the other side of the jaw are going to turn as the head turns. So it's all going to rotate this way. So that's going to change what you see when you're drawing. But so eye line, halfway down, nose line, lips, so eye line. So the triangle for the nose. Remember, it's going to connect to the face, and it's going to, this side, this side right here that I'm shading in, is going to look wider than the other side. And you're going to see the underside of the nose. Okay? And then you have the lips. Oh, we should get the eyes in position first. So we get the eyes in position. Pupils are right about here. Pupils right about here. Boom, boom. And this is going to come down harder and faster. This is also going to go up faster. This is going to have more of a gentle approach.
Do you know anybody that does the head construction by starting with the skull?
Nope.
No, me neither.
I mean, you do it that way to learn.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do it that way to learn.
Yeah.
Because it's, oh my gosh, it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, and then you got to memorize the like all the names of the bones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like your mandible and your where your nose attaches up here is called something, and
So if we kind of did that, you're going to be kind of looking like this. And you get the cheekbone that comes out over and up. That connects to the head, the top of the skull.
I just find, unless you're drawing skulls, why would you start with this process?
I don't know. I think it really is just to teach the anatomy to people, you know. So, and then you got the jaw that comes in. I'm not good at this because I don't do this all the time.
Yep.
I always have to look at reference. By the way, if you're looking at reference, guys, I encourage you to look at reference.
Yeah, and especially like with head turns, a lot of celebrities and models, they have professional people take head turns of themselves. So you can find head turns of a lot of your favorite actors or whatnot.
Yep.
And they really do a 360-degree photo session. So you can find basically any pose that you can think of.
So let's go over the basic shapes one more time here. So we're going to start with the square. Right? And the square gets turned into what when it's 3D? A cube. Okay? Then we got yourself the triangle. The triangle turns into one of three shapes. Or one of two shapes, sorry. That is the prism.
Prism, yep.
You have the pyramid. That's going to be a dot. So it has four sides. If you look at it from the top, it's going to look like a square with an X through it. Then we got the circle. And the circle straight on X and Y axis. Fine. We're going to be doing a sphere. And we rotate these axes. And they come through the back. And then what was the other shapes again? The
teardrop and the peanut.
The teardrop, yeah. For you, the teardrop. And then
when you're doing anatomy, the teardrop and the peanut's probably going to come in handy when we're adding muscle to
muscle tissue.
Forearms, biceps, chest muscles.
Very, very true. We will. Yep. And then these ones, if you looked at it straight on, it would look like that. This would be a little bit different. It's going to look like that, and then like that, and then come through. Because this is going to be rounded on two sides coming to a point. While the peanut, we're going to go like this. And then continue that shape on the back side. And then this is going to be a sphere here, sphere here, and spherical there. But there's the other one too called the cylinder. And that's basically a circle turned on its side, two elongated sides like a rectangle on another circle, and then goes around this way, sweeps back through, nice and round. You'll use that for like columns, buildings, things like that. So these are your basic shapes that you're going to be using for drawing. Remember that the square turns into the rectangle as well, so you just stretch it out. You can make it 3D as well. On the sides. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Rectangles.
And these will come in handy. You practice these shapes, they'll come in handy. You'll be able to draw cars, you'll be able to draw books, houses, buildings, you name it. It all begins here. And I know, like last time we were with Matt and we were talking about the hair.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, this is great. And then I got thinking later on, I was like, we talked about the hair and how it's placed on the head, but we haven't actually talked about the head.
The head, yeah. So, but the first thing, we want to see is your shapes. So when you join us on Friday, if you're watching this later, draw your basic shapes, draw them in 3D the best you can, and then we'll go over them, talk to you about it a little bit, show where you went right, show where you went wrong a little bit, so we can get you to learn how to draw a little bit better.
Don't worry too much about perspective either. We haven't talked about perspective, so But we'll do.
If you want to give
we'll
it a
get
shot,
there.
go for it. Yeah. So, see, if you look at this head right here, I started with the circle, right here, the sphere, and then I added a column right here. The column comes down, goes around. Add another column right here. Boom, 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 boom. Column, and this is how you get your shapes. We'll add another column like so. And then let's add a rectangle. Right? So we added a rectangle. And then this is where we modify from, guys. This is how we get those basic shapes, Shoulders are going to be up here. They're joined together by circles. Chest is up here, so we do an inverted circle. Erase this out. Your chest cavity. Boom. So all of these things together is how you put it together, man. How you draw. Think about your arm, right? Your arm is a cylinder. Boom. It's just a cylinder right there. So Bob says, my problem is that sometimes I get too ambitious and I get frustrated later. Dude, we all do that.
Yeah. You really need to start with these underlying constructions and try not to worry about the end result. The end result will happen, but in order to get there, you need to first understand this process, right? Yeah. And that's my biggest downfall. I think it's everybody's biggest downfall is trying to get to the end result before you do these constructions.
Yeah. So, and then from here, we just modify the shapes again. Hey, Roger, how you doing? But we want you to start with just these basic shapes for this beginning lesson. And then we will see how they look for you. And then we will start modifying those shapes in the next episode. We're going to talk about, how we can put the shapes together like the example I just did here to create different objects, So, but, thanks, Melter. I appreciate that, buddy.
Okay, so what do we got? We got 10 minutes left?
Yeah.
Let's go back and we'll do my screen. We're doing people. Sure. Let's do a critter.
Yeah, let's do a critter. Okay, let me go over to Willy's screen. There you go.
Okay, let me find my screen here. Where are we? Photoshop, right?
Yep.
Where's my Photoshop? There it is.
You need me to do it?
Huh? Well, you guys could see it the whole time, but I had mine buried under a few windows there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What kind of critter are we going to draw?
I don't know. We did, what do we do with Manny Skunks?
Let's just do a cat real quick.
A cat?
Or a monkey. You're good at monkeys.
You're pulling at my heartstrings.
Sorry. Forgot my cheesy bites.
My stuff's not working here. I had the spinning wheel of death. Nothing seems to be working.
It's working on your screen.
Huh?
We see your mouse moving.
Yeah, but I can't click on anything.
Do you want me to pull it up again and do it?
Just give me a second here.
Okay.
Probably help if I stop clicking.
Probably, yeah. Let's remember, guys. So I want you to practice these shapes, especially you, Melter. Then during the week, do the hashtag Teaching Tuesday right? On Twitter, tag me in it, and then we'll bring them up on Friday and take a look at your work and talk about it. And then we'll talk about what we're going to do on the next episode. So, yeah. Hashtag Teaching Tuesday. But are you up, Willie?
Huh? No, I can't click on anything. No.
Okay. All right.
Can I go back to my StreamYards? I can click on like web browsers and stuff, but my
Here.
Photoshop's locked up for some reason.
Let's
Oh,
do
wait,
this.
hang on. Bam. Ah, sweet.
Oh, you got it?
I'm in.
There you go.
All right. So what do you reduce yours to? About 60%, you said?
Oh, the opacity on my pen? Yeah, just 60%.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can do critter with basic shapes.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan. And guys, if you have any questions during the week as well, just hit us up on Twitter, and we'll try to address as many as possible on Friday about drawing, shading, anything like that, and we'll talk about it. So Friday's going to be kind of like an all. We'll answer anything, but we'll critique everything first.
That's so weird. It's right laggy.
Yeah, you maybe run out of RAM.
I might have.
Yeah.
I was kind of tinkering before I started too, so it's my own fault.
It's your own fault. Alrighty, so
can you see what I'm doing? Yeah, you guys can see that.
you can, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we got our sphere. I'm going to add my teardrop shape.
All right, so we got the sphere, we got the teardrop. You doing a duck?
Can be a duck. I don't know. Let's just keep going here.
Like quacks like a duck. It's probably a duck.
Some of the stuff that I do is kind of fun, actually. Like if I want to give them a little teddy bear belly, you can kind of put in this little oval in here. And then if you want to give them a belly button, it's either a 6 or a backward 6, depending on which way he's facing. So if I want to give him a little belly button, I just give him a backward 6 in there.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Same goes for the mouth if I want to give him a mouth. So let's give him some cool eyeballs up here.
Okay. Hey, Eric Hawkins, how you doing, buddy? Remember, guys, even if you just tuned in at the last few minutes here, please give it a share so people can watch this later. This is a very basic intro on how to use shapes and how to put them together for drawing. So, and then we want you to practice, and then use the hashtag Teaching Tuesday on Twitter, tag us in it, and we will go over them on Friday together. So, and if you have any other art questions, please give it to us. Yeah.
So up here on the face, I'm just adding a couple little peanut shapes that we talked about earlier. And I think what I'll do is I'll give him another little set of cheeks up in here. And
Okay.
give him a little mouth. So what are we going to make him into? A cat or a dog or?
Up to you, man. You're the one drawing.
What's he going to look like with bear ears?
Wham, bear ears. Okay. Again, like the ears you're adding are just spears,
Yeah.
They're mostly there.
Same with Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse, if you think of Mickey Mouse.
He's just 3 circles.
He's just 3 circles.
That's it. I should smell like 6. The eyes, the cheeks. But yeah. So
Let's get rid of some of this stuff here.
yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
We don't mind.
And
We all have
then I'm going to draw a little triangle shape in here. A weird little square here. He puts his hands on his hips.
Oh, he's sassy.
Yeah.
He's a sassy.
And then for the feet, honestly, you can probably just get away with either adding like peanut shape down there as well.
Yep.
Give him a little crotch to separate the legs.
It's just triangle.
And that's basically it. So what I'll do is I'll open a new layer. I'm going to reduce this one even further, actually.
Sure. Yeah, so this is like the building blocks, guys. When you use your basic shapes to put your drawings together, the basic shapes are just your building blocks.
Yeah.
How you finesse them is how you're going to end up drawing whatever it is you're trying to draw. So don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to try. Remember, as the greatest painter in the world said, happy little accidents.
There we go.
There you go. Now you're just inking the outside edges to bring those shapes together, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is basically the inking process.
Yeah. So you can use pencil at home. You can do whatever,
So I think what I'll do is with the eyes, I'll just give them some old-fashioned Mickey Mouse style eyes.
Okay.
Which I assume that little wedge that's cut out of it is supposed to be like the highlight, maybe.
Yeah, it is the spectra. I forget the terminology for it, but yeah, it's the highlight. So, but it's basically a rectangle with the triangle taken out.
Yep.
So,
and again, he's got that little 3/4 view turn to his head, so the eye that's a little further away from us is just going to be slightly smaller. But since I'm going cartoony, you can exaggerate that.
Totally can. Use it to play to whatever it is you're drawing, really.
Yeah.
So once you learn those areas, you can try it out. You can play with it and turn it in and use it as a tool to what you want to create. So.
Give him some hair.
Cool.
No, we're just kind of winging it at this point. What does a bear's nose look like? I don't think it's circle. What if we did something like a little triangle? Sticking with our basic shapes here.
I'm getting a teaching class on how to mimic the bombshell style from DC, specifically the coloring. You got hired to do a t-shirt design for Con next year. Well, congratulations, Eric. That's good. I don't know exactly what to do about the bombshell style, but it's basically just pinup drawings, I believe. So.
Is that the old-fashioned ones that you see on the sides of old planes?
Yeah, exactly. The World War II art, stuff like that. So I guess we could eventually get to something like that, but we're going to start with the basics first and kind of work our way towards more advanced techniques. So, because we want other people to experience the joy and fun that we have with drawing. So,
I think everybody's too wrapped up into the end result, and they don't realize that a lot of the times it's actually fun doing just designs. Like here, I had no idea we were going to draw a bear, and I don't know how to draw a bear.
Bear looks more like a chipmunk.
He is turning into a chipmunk, isn't he?
Those cheeks.
Let's see how far we can push it, and we'll see what he does turn into.
Yeah.
Could go into a mouse too.
Could. He had some whiskers right there. Ooh, whiskers are going in.
Like
Yeah, he can do just about anything right now. He's gonna be a whatchamacallit. That's what he's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Whatchamacallit?
And then I think what I'll do is once in a while is I'll kind of mute the bottom layer, and we just kind of see where we're going from here.
Check on your progress, yeah. Eric says buck teeth equals chipmunk, no buck teeth equals bear. I don't know, man. This thing's kind of weird for both, you know. So maybe he's a transition bear, or he's a chipmunk in transition to be a bear. He's a bear trans. Trans bear.
Okay.
It's looking good.
If I give him teeth down here, we can totally turn him into a mouse or a woodchuck.
Or if you give him long ears, you can turn him into a rabbit.
Rabbit?
Good.
Let's see. Let's try a few different ways. We'll see what kind of works best here.
Yeah, you got a rabbit. A solid rabbit right there. See, if you just give him long, floppy ears instead. Yeah.
And just give him a little separation, little tooth gap.
Hey, Bob, no problem, buddy. Check us out on Friday. Throw your stuff up on Twitter, and let's talk. Eric says he looks like a beaver as well. I don't know. He could be a bunch of things right now. He is a androgynous animal. He doesn't know what he wants to be.
He's fuzzy.
He went to the doctor and was like, I want a little of everything.
There is a little trick that a lot of animators use to trigger their imagination. And because I, as an adult, I find you lose your imagination, especially if you had a real strong imagination as a kid. Like sometimes I don't even know how to play anymore. Like I've got a little guy that would like to play cars and stuff like that. I find a lot of the times he's just telling me what to do because I don't know how to play anymore. I kind of lost my imagination. And there's exercises that you can do to strengthen that. One of them is animators have been using it for years. And they actually turned a cartoon into it. And the cartoon was called Spliced. And what they do is they basically take 2 or 3 different animals and they make one animal out of it. So, you could have, what would you get? Basically, you can make a list. Make 2 lists of animals and then start crossing them off and see what you get. So, maybe you've got a zebra and an octopus. Well, what would an octopus zebra look like?
Ooh.
Would it have the head of a zebra and an octopus's body, or vice versa?
I think that'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. So in that cartoon Spliced, that's what the whole cartoon was. It was a mad scientist, kind of like the island of Dr. Moreau, really. It was a mad scientist who had this island, and they made a bunch of weird animals out of other animals. But it's just a fun little trick to trigger your imagination.
Yeah.
Another one is to, it's just an easy trick to build your imagination is if Batman was going to the store and he's getting some groceries, what would be on his list? Right? So I know he'd probably have some rope. He'd probably have some sort of chemistry things in there. He's a late nighter, so he'd probably have some Red Bull or something to keep him up on those late nights, right? Like, sky's the limit, but it's little things like that will kind of trick your memory
I think at
into.
that point, if you're Batman, you start taking 14-hour energies,
Yeah.
Like, I got to stay up all night and part of the morning, then sleep and get to work, then come home and sleep again. Try to have a social life. Yeah, he's got to be insomniac, actually. Batman has to be. But definitely has to be insomniac. But yeah, I'll have to look up that show called Splice and take a look. And I might just have to do some of those drawings myself.
It's it's fun animation too.
Maybe we should do that one show too. We'll do a spliced episode and come up with our own imagination.
Imaginary animals, yeah.
Yeah. We'll do that after we get the basic lessons out of the way of art or drawing anyway. So, yeah. So, it looks like you have it just about wrapped up.
Almost. Still not sure what he is. I think he's going to be a bear. Let's make him into a bear.
What he is, let alone himself. Yeah.
Let's give him a little fuzzy tail here. No, when you're adding the hair, all I'm doing is following the contour of that curve too. You know, I'm not really putting too much fuss into it. Same with the elbow here. I just follow the curve of the arm. Right.
And yeah, you're just trying to show the essence of what's happening or what's there.
Yeah, that's just for the sake of it. We'll leave him as a bear with buck teeth.
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
I think this pretty much wraps up our night.
I would say he looks a lot like Eric Hawkins, but he has too much hair. Oh, sorry, Eric.
Burn to the bald guy.
I love you, Eric.
All right, let's shut off that bottom layer. We'll zoom out and we'll see what we got.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot the feet.
Well, it's okay.
Let's see, what can we do with the feet? Let's give him some fuzzy little feet too.
Fuzzy feet too. All right.
And again, I'm just following the contour of the curve.
What kind of animal he wants to be. Looks like we went into an Antifa raid.
There we go. And then even from here, you can finesse it and start darkening some of the underlines. And
means furries. I'm a little of everything. Oh man. Anyways, dude, I want to thank you, Willie, for teaching the basics today of shapes and everything like that. Taking over the lesson today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun.
The next one, we're basically just going to be expanding upon this. We'll probably take the 3D shapes we learned and play a little bit with perspective, not a whole lot. I don't want to go too deep into it, but just trying to how to set them up and then blend them together to make items, like buildings or, a tree or whatever. So I will go over that next week for sure on Tuesday. But guys, Friday, practice, tweet us out, and we'll be happy to go over them with you. If you have any other art questions, hit us up. It could be techniques, or it could be what we use, what we don't use. Anything like that, hit me up on Friday for the stream. So, Willie, you got anything to say before we take off?
Nope. I'll just let you know where you can reach me. You can find me on most social media sites as Willy Reid. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's all Willy Reid, except for here on YouTube. It's actually The Art of Reid.
Yep. And I have his links down below in the description. You can get me at Pencil for Life on all the channels. We want to thank you guys for coming out for the first Teaching Tuesday. We're going to keep this up every Tuesday, and we hope to see you next week and this Friday. So take care, guys. God bless, and we will see you soon. Later, guys.
Bye.